let's talk some Texas recruiting. 5-star wide receiver Kaliq Lockett just announced his commitment to Texas over LSU, over Alabama, A&M, FSU. Those were the finalists for the number 3 ranked wide receiver in America, the number 17 overall prospect. Steve, you were all over this one with Texas as the leader. They were trending. But when did it kind of turn the corner for the Longhorns?
I just know that Texas led for Kaliq Lockett back in May going into the official visits. We spent time with him at the On3 Elite Series in Nashville. And he told me Texas was his leader going into the official visits. He took his trips to Alabama, to Florida State, to Texas A&M, to LSU. But Texas got the last trip the weekend of June 21st. And they got it done. The relationship with Chris Jackson, his pedigree coaching in the NFL, Coach Sarkisian, his offenses, all the receivers that he helped develop and send to the NFL. Those things were factors. But just putting on for his home state, being closer to home, playing for Texas, that burnt orange was also major for Kaliq Lockett as he commits to Texas. Texas going to try and go on a run here in August.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that here right now because it has felt like we've been saying this. Texas is going to go on a run really since early June, it feels like. And with Decorin Moore going to Oregon, that was their shot at their first 5-star. They missed him. That was July 4th. Well, now here we are on August 7th, and they've landed their first 5-star, but probably not their last, because we're talking Michael Fusi, Michael Terry, Jamie French, and Jonah Williams. And Steve, they're all deciding this month. At some point this month, Texas could land either 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 5-stars. Break it down for us. Let's start with Michael Fusi, the offensive tackle out of the state of Texas. How do you read his recruitment as it stands right now?
They're in an absolute war for Michael Fusi. There's people that think that he's ultimately going to end up in Austin, and it certainly wouldn't surprise me if he committed to Texas, Josh. But don't sleep on Texas A&M. There has been a ton of dialogue and meetings with Texas A&M. Oklahoma is another program that he's visited numerous times, has a real good relationship with Coach Bill Beatenbaugh, likes his track record. All 3 of those programs are pouring a lot of resources into Michael Fusi and his recruitment. So I could still see that one going a few different ways, but Texas is major in that one.
Yeah, I like Texas, but I'm kind of watching Oklahoma there.
Mm-hmm. Well, don't sleep on the Aggies either, then, Josh.
I'm not. All right, Michael Terry, the number 1 athlete in America. He's also from the state of Texas. This has been a battle as well. Who are the primary teams involved here, and when is Michael Terry deciding?
Well, he wants to decide before his senior year. Will he be able to get that done? Time will tell. Mm-hmm. But Texas is definitely one of the top programs for Michael Terry. Yep. You also have the Oregon Ducks, and then Nebraska, the Cornhuskers, rounding out what I think the top 3 is. Texas A&M was in that Final Four, but they have faded based on everything I'm hearing. So Texas, proximity to home, not too far from San Antonio. Steve Sarkisian and his offense kind of showed him a way that he could be utilized in multiple ways, whether that's in the backfield as an H-back, as a wide receiver. He's moved around the football field his entire life, so that is exciting to him. He doesn't want to just play one receiver on the next level. And when he took his official visit to Texas, they showed him all the ways that he could impact their offense. And then the other programs had to respond to that on his other official visits. He goes to Oregon. They get DeAnthony Thomas showing him around, not once but twice. He took his official visit. There's DeAnthony Thomas. He returned in July. There's DeAnthony Thomas again.
Like his player host.
No question. And look, not a bad player host, but again, it's Oregon showing similar opportunity. And then Nebraska, he has felt the love from Nebraska, man. When he took his official visit to Lincoln in April, he lands. The local newspaper has a top of the sports section article about Michael Terry and what a priority recruit he is. He's felt that way all the way through, likes the trajectory of Nebraska's program and what Coach Rule and company are building. If you're making me make a best guess now,
sure,
I would pick Texas. Okay. But that is not an on 3 RPM guess, so it certainly wouldn't surprise me if he ended up at the others. But Texas doing everything they can to land him. They've done a good job.
Yeah, all right. So
Tashard Choice has recruited him as long as anybody. So that relationship's also key for Texas.
So we're halfway through the remaining 5-stars that are deciding this month, and you've got 2 of them currently leaning towards Texas. Let's talk now about 5-star wide receiver Jamie French. He's from Jacksonville, Florida, and he made an interesting final trip. He went to LSU in Miami on that final weekend before the dead period. Now Jamie French is hunkered down in decision-making mode. How do you read his recruitment as we're like 3 weeks out?
Well, it's been one that you've kind of It's had some
It's
twists
ebbed and
turns.
flowed,
Right. Yeah. So, look, there's been times where Texas has led. I need to make some calls to see if they still lead because he took those visits at the end of the summer to LSU and Miami, and there seems to be some confidence really growing around Coral Gables in Miami. Now, if you're watching Whip Around, if you're watching Scoop, if you're listening to Chad Simmons and I, we haven't slept on Miami, but now it just seems like Miami is very much a real one for Jamie French. LSU has been in there for a while, but Texas led coming into the summer, thought they led coming out of the official visits, but then there were a couple July visits. He's still having dialogue with these schools, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and this is when the real recruiting goes down, when the dead period begins. All right, now let's get to Jonah Williams, the 5th and final 5-star of the month that's going to be deciding on Texas's recruiting board. Jonah Williams is an interesting case because he's the number 1 safety in America, and at different times, his recruitment has been a bit of a roller coaster ride as well.
It has, but Texas is a program that up until recently we weren't talking much about. It was a lot more around Oklahoma. Then it was a lot more around Texas A&M. Then you got LSU and Oregon getting some momentum. Texas has real major momentum here at the end. I think that they're one of the top 2 schools that he's looking at right now. I would put LSU in there as well. And Texas has been in this recruitment for a long time. They just weren't prominently mentioned. Coach Gideon, Coach Sarkisian, they've been going into his high school for years down there in Galveston Ball. That's all adding up now. Texas got the last visit of his process. He got to watch him practice. Again, got to spend more time with the staff. And Texas has a lot of resources in this recruitment as well. He was going to play baseball on the next level. He obviously had a connection with those guys when they're at A&M. Now they're at Texas.
I think.
Yeah, so Texas, best guess for Jonah Williams today. And always reserve the right to change my mind based on the next phone call or the next bit of information. Or, look, these guys are working through it too, but it's starting to look pretty good for the Burnt Orange here with Jonah Williams.
So with Kaliq Lockett on the commit list, we're looking at those 4 remaining 5-stars for the month. Rank those in most likely to least likely for Texas fans.
Well, it's still, there's a lot of ways that these could go. One time you were like, is Texas going to get all 3 of these 5-star wide receivers?
We thought it looked imminent, but you always said, hey, this could go any direction right now. And sure enough, DeCorian Moore goes to Oregon.
And when
that was the one that we probably felt best about in the moment.
And when I gave the RPM to Texas at the On3 Elite Series, there was some like, well, they're going to get DeCorian Moore and Jamie French, and then Kaliq Lockett won't even want to come, whatever. Which he would look. It wouldn't matter if DeCorian Moore and Jamie French were already in Texas's class. Kaliq Lockett would not care. He would still be a Longhorn. He's going to go in there and compete. That's where he wants to play. So I felt good about that pick all the way. These guys, look, man, none of these 4 are guarantees. Fusi, Terry, French, Jonah Williams are not guaranteed, but you're asking me to rank them in order, so I'll do my best.
All right, let's try it.
I think they have the best chance of Jonah Williams from that group. Then I would put Terry 2nd, Fusi 3rd, and French 4th.
Wow,
and
that's not what I thought you would say.
No, I know, because if I could maybe go Michael Terry 1, really? Jonah Williams 2.
Okay, I thought you were going to have Fusi 1.
No, I think Fusi is still the one that is like getting in order right now. I mean, like,
well, this was a good exercise. Because now I got a better understanding of it all.
Fusi is as coveted a player in the country that's not a quarterback.
Okay, so
like, you got to be ready to recruit Michael Fusi. These programs are. I'm just saying, like, like let's Fusi is dotting I's and crossing T's right now. But that one, again, he could go to Texas, and I know there's some optimism, but like, the folks in College Station, the folks in Norman are battling for Michael Fusi as well. He took that last visit to Florida. I mean, so. Yeah,
but when he left Florida, he said, I'm going to keep an eye on them during the season. That doesn't bode well for them in the upcoming decision. Yeah, if Florida goes out and has a great year.
No, I understand that. But what I'm saying is this is a young man that's still going through his process.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And
his decision's coming up soon.
No, it is. And I'm telling you, I can't rank him 1 on this list. I think that I would, obviously I did. Williams and Terry. Yeah. I like, that doesn't mean that Fusi's not going to Texas and those guys don't end up elsewhere either. So
this was fun. This was fun. Texas fans, tap in, comment section below. Do you guys agree?
Like button, baby.
Do you guys agree with Steve? Do you disagree with Steve? How many 5-stars will Texas land? Let us know. Well, you've made it to the end of today's video, but there's hundreds more videos on the On3 Recruits channel for you to check out. And also, while you're here, hit subscribe.